something with this pepper challenge, and this pepper is the biggest pepper I've ever seen in my life. And I think it's old. By the way,
Oh, take that off, bro.
So I got my
Look it up. Best video on YouTube at the moment.
But to be
Can
honest.
confirm.
But what's up, guys? Welcome back
Yo.
to another episode of the Dunces. As you can see, we have the biggest dunce here showing us videos of Jordan with
Whoa.
Kevin out here. What's up, Kev?
I miss my favorite dunce.
I don't even know who
Yeah,
you're
me
talking
too. Me too. No
But,
cap.
oh, that's right, Jordan. And what's up, Isandro? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right,
I'm
nice. Chilling, bro. Eating my food, honestly.
Isan, why you look so white, bro? Oh no, why you sound so white? You have a durag on, and then you have
Okay.
the whole jacket.
All right, fellas. Let's rein it in.
There it is. So
Isandro has
Here
mixed
today.
emotions after what's happened this week.
we are here to talk about the losers of NBA free agency. Because the
Because we're
NBA
losers.
it was something special this year. They weren't really anything. I mean, the best player is still on the board, Anthony Davis, but we all know he's going back. But a lot of different signings. Tomorrow we will be doing the winners, but today let's just focus on the losers of the free agency class. So I think we should start off just by saying who we think our biggest loser is. So just say the team, and then we'll get into a discussion. So Isandro, who do you think the biggest loser of NBA free agency is?
The biggest loser. I want to say besides the Rockets, but I think I'm gonna go with the Rockets, and then we can just talk about that.
What?
Okay, so you think it's the Rockets? All right, that's fine. All
I
right,
think
Kev,
they're
who do
losers.
you think is the biggest?
Let me think. Honestly, I think the Detroit Pistons. I don't understand what they're doing.
That's good.
Because-
That's good. We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
That's
about
my first guess, but I don't really have in mind like every
That's
team.
fine. That's fine.
We'll talk
I
about it.
have a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
change it later on, I think.
Watch yourself.
I think the biggest loser in free agency, and it is crazy because they are a contender, but I think the biggest loser is the Clippers. But we'll get into why I believe that. And there's also other losers here and there, like the Knicks, but the Knicks just suck. So we'll talk. We don't even have to talk about them. So I guess we can start off with the Rockets. Isandro, why do you think that the Rockets are the
It's
losers?
just, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they signed Boogie Cousins, which is pretty decent, but he's not the player he was before. And they were like, they don't want to
Bro,
give
oh
Harden.
my goodness.
Harden.
I cannot wait till you finish talking. You continue.
Okay, because they didn't know what they wanted to do because they wanted to keep Harden and they wanted to kind of shop around Russell Westbrook, but then they weren't sure if they wanted to contend or not. And then they ended up trading Robert Covington away, which is a really solid piece for Ariza. And then they ended up trading Ariza away. And it was just very confusing, and it just did not move the needle at all. At all.
Yeah. What do you think, Kev?
I agree that Boogie Cousins did not move the needle because no one knows if he'll, how good he'll be. I don't think he'll be that good. Hopefully, it'll be great for basketball in the NBA, and the Rockets. But the Rockets don't need him. And Isandro, you are uneducated, bro. Bro, Boogie Cousins was not their biggest free agent signing, that was like kind of a small piece. That's like an X factor that it's a low risk, high reward chance. So I think it's a great signing. But the real deal that they made was the sign and trade for Christian Wood, I think is his name.
Yeah.
But I know
Yeah,
Wood
that
is
was
the
the big
last
one.
name.
That was the big one. I never
Bro,
said he was
how
the
do you
biggest
say-
one. I just
How did they
mentioned it.
lose when a big man is what they needed and they signed a great young big? And the only thing is, they traded away Covington, this guy, and I'm not sure who they drafted, but maybe Jason can look that up or you can look that up. But I think Christian Wood is perfect for this guy Harden because I think also what Clint Capella couldn't do, like he can defend on the perimeter and he's younger, so and he shoots well. He shoots very well. So that's really good for Harden and Westbrook too. But just defensively too, like that's gonna be enormous for them. I think that he'll give them great energy because he was undrafted. Like he came up from nothing, basically. So, and this is his first big payday. He's gonna want to prove himself, especially if, maybe the Rockets aren't contenders, but they have something to prove in the playoff.
Yeah. I think Christian Wood. I like Christian Wood. I think he was solid for the Pistons. And they got him for relatively cheap. They got him for 3 years, 27 mil. That's a great signing for Houston.
I think it was 41 million.
41, yeah, that's right. So it was a decent contract for him. It's not too bad for him. My only issue is they probably could have got him for less. and they get a player who's 25 years old. You know, he's basically entering his prime, but it's really like, it's kind of like his second season in the NBA, really. So he's a little older, but he doesn't really move the needle for me. Like they don't have a direction. The Rockets don't have a direct. They don't know what they want to do with Russell Westbrook, right? Because okay, they could definitely trade him for like Nicholas Batum and something, and but they don't want to do that because they want to still contend. But do they still want to contend? Do they want to trade Harden? And if they do, what can they get for Harden? There's just so many questions that they haven't answered. I think that the Rockets, what they should do is what the Lakers did with Kobe, is keep Harden. They have him for 2 years. They are in no rush to trade him. And Kobe said once that he wanted to be traded from the Lakers. They went and got Pau Gasol, and the rest is history. He's a Laker for life. Shout out Kobe. So you never know. Maybe it could happen with Harden too. But he did turn down 2 years, 50 mil. I mean, 2 years, 100 mil. So I don't know what they're thinking. Christian Wood is a solid pickup. Like doesn't really move the needle. They traded for Covington, stupid trade. They traded away Ariza,
That
stupid
was
trade.
dumb.
I mean,
They don't need Ariza though. He's overpaid.
yeah, and then they got Boogie, who's like Kev said, high risk, high reward. There's really nothing there. I mean, I'm not
No risk. There's no risk in that.
no risk, high reward. Yeah, so it's just the Rockets are. I think they're in no man's land. I think they lost free agency, but
No,
I
no, no, no,
why
no.
you understand why they won. I could see like they're nothing. Rockets.
I don't think they're in no man's land. I think they kind of evened out. But I think either way they decide to go in, whether they like full on rebuild and or they just like decide to keep it going. I think Christian Wood fits in with both timelines. So either way, it's like and honestly, I don't see them trading away Harden and Westbrook, like unless they get something crazy. Which for Westbrook, I doubt it. But like it just doesn't make sense. I think they'll fix it. Harden's put in too much work, and then I think he'll give the new coach and like the new GM a chance at least.
Yeah,
We'll
poor Steven Silas, because he doesn't deserve this, bro. he should have gone to a team that was like rebuilding like Oklahoma City. Like he's gonna be a great head coach, and I feel like he's just giving so many like there's just so many things going on in Houston. But Isandro, I understand your point. Kev, I understand your point. I'm leaning more towards they lost, but only because or mainly just incomplete because we just still don't know what's gonna go on with them. But let's move on to Kevin's pick, the Pistons. I know he just said he didn't have a lot to talk about with the Pistons, but
No, with the Pistons I do, but I'm just talking about the rest of the NBA in general. So a lot happened.
let's still talk about quickly about the Pistons though, because honestly, what are they doing? They drafted Isaiah Stewart, a solid big man, you know, with a late pick. They draft Killian Hayes, who I love. I think this kid from France is going to be a solid pickup. For
Yeah,
them.
great pickup.
Then they go out and sign Mason Plumlee, and they sign Jaleel Okafor.
No, I like Mason Plumlee as a big though.
But to start,
But keep going.
for the amount of money,
Keep going.
the amount of money that they spent for him is not worth it. They got him for 3 more years. He's on the tail end of his, like he's 30. He's not gonna get any better. Like he's no. And then they signed Jaleel Okafor, and then they signed Jeremy Grant, and they have Blake Griffin. So and then they traded for Dwayne Dedman, and then they waived him. So now they have money.
It was for cap space, but they used that cap space to find someone else. I forgot who.
Use that, and I believe they used it to sign Wayne Ellington. So
No, they use it because they had to fix the financials to sign this guy.
Grant.
Yeah, Grant.
Either way, what are they? It doesn't really matter. Like the logic makes sense, yeah, because of the money. But look at their team. They don't need that many picks. But why do you think
A lot of big men, right? That's a lot of.
Too many, yeah.
It feels kind of lopsided.
Yeah.
Like at first, I loved it. I was like, dang, Jeremy Grant next to Blake Griffin, like they can small ball that, and like it'd be amazing. And then when they signed Mason Plumlee, I like that too because I feel like Mason Plumlee's underrated. Like I like it when he drives in, and he's also a great passer. Like he's learned in that Nuggets system, and you know he probably might not be as good because obviously it's a new system, new players, new chemistry, whatever you got to build that. But he did learn a lot from Jokic, and so I think he's a really good center. He'd be like an underrated, like solid center. You could start for like 25 minutes a game. But then all these other dudes, like, why are you gonna sign these guys, these big men, when you need wings, and then you just draft mostly bigs?
Yeah,
don't know.
it was looking like the Kings, man. Like when the Kings used to draft a bunch of bigs, like
Yeah.
Boogie, like it was Pistons. They definitely I mean, no one really wants to go to Detroit though, right? I mean, there's really nothing there besides Blake and D Rose. I think the Pistons have more moves up their sleeves, and not because they want to, but just because they have to. Like they don't need Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, he deserves better, honestly, and Derrick Rose definitely deserves better. I want him on a championship contender because Derrick Rose will definitely be a great help. But I don't really want to get too into depth with the Pistons because we all know they're going to be losers for a long time. Killian Hayes, though, great pickup. I love him.
Yeah. I
Great.
like that D Rose is with him, so like he can develop and actually learn too.
Yeah, yeah. But then I said the Clippers. So there's a reason why I still think they are contenders. They have
They got Ibaka though.
They got Ibaka. I was about to say that they got Ibaka. It was a great signing, but they didn't.
Better than Montrezl Harrell.
They didn't address their team need, which was a point guard, a true point guard. Patrick Beverly is solid. Like we all love his hustle. We all love he's annoying, but he gives the team like that energy that they need, right? But they need somebody who can coach on the floor. Rondo was it. Like Rondo was basically there for him, but they didn't have enough money to give him. Which it makes sense. I mean, they're paying Kawhi, they're paying Paul George, and they're paying Patrick Beverly $14 million. No one wants to take on that contract for Pat Bev. Like he's solid, but he's not that great. But I think they're losers because they lose out on Rondo. They lose out on Harrell, but they picked up Ibaka, who I get what Kev is saying that Ibaka is better, but I think he's better for that team. I think because Harrell is younger, he will be better soon. But Ibaka fits that team perfectly, and he was teammates with Kawhi when they won the
I
championship.
think Ibaka is better regardless. Like period.
He's a better shooter and
He's better at everything.
Better perimeter shooter and better defensively.
Yeah, he's older.
And that's what you need. No one wants to give a big man touches. I don't know what the Lakers are thinking. Honestly, getting Montrezl Harrell, like
We'll talk about that tomorrow. Like, because I think Lakers are winning. Oh, actually, unless you think the Lakers are losers, then
I don't think they're losers because they did. Honestly, I'm kind of torn because I feel they lost a lot of veteran keys and like they have a lot of unproven commodities in like Dennis Schroeder, who he has played good like in the Atlanta Hawks when he was first coming out, and then he took over for Jeff Teague on the Atlanta team. Like he was amazing, but I don't know. I don't think he's playoff proven too much. And then this other guy, who else did they get? They got someone else.
Matthews and Harrell.
Matthews is old, and that's the only thing. Like, because Danny Green was huge to what they did on the perimeter defense. Like, that was amazing.
You see,
he shot horrible, but his defense was amazing. The whole play.
Sometimes, bro. Sometimes Kev. Yo, today, Kev, you are on point. That's facts. Because look, Wes Matthews, I love Wes Matthews, but I would have much rather have him come off the bench, subbing in for Danny Green. Like, look. Okay, I know I said Lakers are winners. I do think they are winners, but I do think they also lost a lot. Danny Green, I know he was very inconsistent in the playoffs, but he was so important for them. And Schroeder is significantly smaller, and what he does is very different. The new look Lakers are different. They're going more towards athleticism than defense.
Emphasis on the new look because look, they're trying to go for offense over defense, and they're trying to replace Rondo's leadership and everything else he did off the ball with Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder's offensive impact.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something that's going to work out. I think that's something that we're all hoping is going to work out, and we're all seeing it. And I think the Lakers definitely think it's going to work out, replacing that for
they got. Yeah, no, I still think that they are winners.
Yeah, I call them losers. I think they're losers, to be honest.
Okay, all right, so
I just don't see it.
I still think Lakers are winners only because they're taking free agency. Like if they lost the finals, when in reality they didn't. We know they didn't. I think they're winners in that case. But
when you have this mindset, you lose this finals.
I still think that the Lakers, like, they're significantly better than the Clippers. Like, because the Clippers didn't address what they needed.
But the Clippers aren't their competition in the West. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but they aren't their competition. Unless Kawhi Leonard and Paul George play. Like Paul George mostly, unless he plays amazing again. And I was gonna say the Clippers could handle like the ball handling duties to PG, and he can play kind of like a point forward, or Kawhi, because Kawhi too, like Kawhi more, I think, but Kawhi has gone like triple doubles in the past. Like he would do that with the Clippers. So I mean with the Raptors. So he could do it with the Clippers now, but it's just on a daily night, it's too much of a toll on him. So PG would have to assume those responsibilities as well, which I don't think is gonna happen.
With Kawhi though, it scares me because it's like with the Raptors they won. They did great, but they had a point guard. They had Kyle Lowry. Like that's a point guard that they need, you know? Like I think Clippers they lost to me mainly because they did not address what they needed. And what they needed was a true point guard. They didn't get it. There's no true point guard on the board now. I mean, you got Reggie Jackson, and they just signed Kai Bowman, the player that I was saying that he's just not good. Like they didn't address their needs.
Wait, who signed Kai Bowman?
The Clippers. The Clippers signed Kai Bowman. I'm telling you that.
Bro, the guy from the Warriors?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they don't.
Isn't that Curry's like brother-in-law?
No, I think that's Jordan Poole.
Oh my god, so complicated.
Oh yeah, but like I still think the Clippers are losers. But Kev
the Clippers should have paid Rondo.
Kev making some bold statements though about the Lakers. Like I still think they're winners, but I understand you completely when you say that they're losers.
Hold up, and one more thing. I just remembered you were talking about James Harden. The reason I think he didn't sign that contract was because it's only for 2 years, bro. He's already 30 or like 31. So if you're an NBA player like that, you want to get the type of contract that Chris Paul got from the Clippers, like 5-year max. Because if you get a 2-year max, later on, no one's going to want to pay you for like that much for your production at that age. So he wants to cash in 5 years instead of 2. So I don't blame him. I don't think that's a reason he could leave Houston. But if they offer him that $50 million a year, a bunch of NBA players said it. Like, you're not walking away from it.
So the idea was that he wanted to win, right?
It doesn't matter. If they offer you $50 million guaranteed at least, and then $60 million with incentives, Isandro, you are not leaving.
Okay, neither of us are NBA players, so we can't really answer this question. Would you take $50 million or a championship? I'm sure
$50 million, and I'll build a championship or something fun around.
Anthony Davis this question. You ask James Harden this question. You ask a host of superstars in the league. They're gonna take. You ask Giannis Antetokounmpo that they nine times out of 10 they're gonna take the ring.
But Giannis is young. He doesn't have to worry about that because he can cash out later. But Harden needs to cash out now because this is his last big deal.
So the thing about his contract situation is a little iffy, right? So he has 2 years left on his contract. So that was the only offer they could offer him. They couldn't offer him 5-year max until next season, once he has a 1 year left. Then they could offer him 5 years, however much he wants. But he still turned down 2 years, 100 mil. Like that's 2 years, 100 mil.
He's betting on himself. Yo, he's betting on himself like Fred VanVleet. Shout out to Fred VanVleet, bro. You know what? I think the Raptors are losers too. I didn't see them sign anyone other than VanVleet, who they needed to re-sign. But
they got Chris Boucher back.
Boucher. You know what? They got this guy.
Baines.
I like Aaron Baines. I love Aaron Baines. I wish the Nets would have gotten him.
To be honest, I want Baines too. But
who did the Nets sign? You might be losers too, to be honest, because we kind of fell behind.
Okay, so I want to talk about that just quickly because I spoke to Isandro before. I was saying, look, the Nets didn't really do anything. We signed Joe Harris again, which I love a little bit too much.
We paid him a lot,
but he deserves it. Honestly, I like him.
We paid him. What is it, like 17 a year? Oof.
Something like that, yeah. And then we got Jeff Green, and that's it.
Who?
Jeff Green. Like that's who we signed.
Jeff Green, I love that signing.
And then what we did do was trades. We traded these guys, and we got Bruce Brown, great defender. I love Bruce Brown. He's gonna be a great addition to our team. And we got Landry Shamet, sniper.
Okay, but now we have too many guards, no?
No. We got off our bench. We could start. We could have Dinwiddie, Brown, Shamet, Green, and Jared Allen. We're good. But I still think we lost because we didn't sign like we needed a bigger body to sign. We didn't get it. So
Nicholas Claxton, baby. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see with the Nets. But So back to everything though. Clippers, I think they're losers. Lakers, Kev thinks they're losers. And Isandro really went off on the Rockets, and I respect it because I do think Rockets are leaning more towards loser side. But
I think the worst losers though are Detroit for me. Just to make that clear, I feel the Lakers are just a big risk.
I think
Detroit is the biggest loser.
Out of all the NBA teams, they made the most questionable moves. But there's still
the Hornets.
Time now. let's talk about the Hornets. The Hornets signed Gordon Hayward for 4 years, $120 million. Who here thinks he deserved it?
Nah, I'm kidding. No right privilege. Sorry.
Man is a legend, though. Yo, this guy.
He's not a legend. Shut up.
Listen. He made one All-Star appearance, and he turned that into 8 years of what is it, $30 million each year, after just one All-Star. How can you do that, bro? Like that's insane.
White privilege. That's what I'm saying.
But it sucks because he's not doing himself a favor in Charlotte. Charlotte sucks. They already have Miles.
No, they do not suck. But they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Then they're a decent team. They're not gonna be anything great.
Mediocre. That's the word that was used previously. They are mediocre.
Yes. They're gonna be mediocre, and I think that was their goal. So I don't see them as, in their eyes, they're not losers. In our eyes, obviously, it's like, what are you doing, overpaying again? And like, but they got LaMelo Ball. Like, they have a future. They have this guy Graham. They have PJ Washington. They'll grow. They'll go into a decent team this season, probably the next two, and then over that they'll make some moves to get better.
Graham with him, he's a little older though. He's not that young. He's like 25. So, and I think he's gonna leave next year because they already have too many guards. Unless they trade Terry Rozier, which I think they will. But
yeah, they should.
Look, man,
I heard the Clippers wanted him.
Yeah, but they're not gonna take on Patrick Beverly. Like, I don't think the Hornets want Patrick Beverly. And the thing is, you said it yourself. They got LaMelo Ball in the draft. They should have really taken that and just been like, all right, take over the team. You and the young guys go. Then they go out and sign Gordon Hayward, and it's like, what are you doing? Like,
just to give him a solid veteran presence. He's not gonna take the ball away from that much from LaMelo.
But he's gonna take the ball away from players like Miles Bridges and PJ Washington. Like, these guys they're not.
He's not gonna take the ball away from PJ Washington. But he'll take it away from Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges hasn't really proven himself. If he shoots, then he gets more of the ball. But if not, don't give him the ball. That's it. If not, he's one-sided. He's a one-sided player that can just get on transition and is athletic.
I'm saying that Gordon Hayward is a bad player, though. Like, I think Gordon Hayward is a great player. Like, look, I think a team like Portland would have been great for him to be that third option.
That's too much money, though. Nah, I don't think so. I love the Trailblazers. They are my winners, but we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, no. They are my winners too. But yeah, tomorrow. But I still like a team like that, like just somebody that needed a third option, or like if the Rockets weren't going through their whole turmoil, he would have been perfect for them. Like
that's no defense.
What are you talking about?
So retarded. Hayward to the Rockets.
What? He plays solid defense. What are you talking about? Have you not seen Gordon Hayward play? Gordon Hayward
is not good enough.
I don't think he's seen Gordon play.
Yeah, he does not.
No, he's not playing great defense.
You noticed the pause after you said that. He's like, yeah, no, he's trash. He's trash.
He plays solid defense, bro. He's a
solid defense, but that's not playoff defense. Like, that's not enough.
He's smart.
In the playoffs, they'll ISO on him and they'll score on him easy, especially in the West. You think he can go up against the West Wings? Like, in all honesty, are you that dumb?
Who is he gonna
Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron?
He could definitely clamp Paul George. Paul George sucks in the playoffs.
Bro, he can't even clamp. No. He can't even clamp Carmelo Anthony, who was 30-something years old. He cannot even put the clamps on him. Bro, I guarantee you.
Gordon Hayward is way better than what you're giving him credit for, though.
No. Bro, he is not better than any of those. Even Carmelo Anthony. No.
Yeah, no. The idea was that Gordon Hayward, he's not bad. He's a good player. But the fact that he went to Charlotte and Charlotte signed him for this much money, this is the main reason why they're losers.
Like, the Hornets don't understand what they did before. Like, the 2016 draft fight.
But either way, you know what? Maybe they are losers because his defense is going to be horrible. That's for sure. LaMelo, Hayward.
Hayward's going to help defensively, though. Hayward.
Horrible defense.
He's not horrible. That's
Devontae Graham, he's not short. Yo, they're gonna eat on that. Oh my god.
Kev is taller than
the only way they'll ever win games is if they outscore people, which they can't do.
I don't know.
I'm pulling it from half court.
I don't see the Hornets doing anything, man. Well, they weren't gonna do anything anyway. But I don't.
They were putting up a solid 18 points per game.
Yeah, that was a bad. Hayward was a bad signing. Terrible signing.
No, he wasn't.
But
it's a good signing for the Hornets.
I just have one more team that I want to talk about before we end it off, and it is the other team in New York, and it's the Knicks.
No, why are we even talking about them?
Because
I don't want to talk about them. They're irrelevant. They didn't even. Who did they sign? They signed no one.
No, they did. They got Who did they get?
Yeah, no one. No one cares about
They
them.
didn't sign anyone. And you see, maybe that's why they're losers because they don't sign
Bro,
people.
real talk, hold up. Real talk. You know who I love on the Knicks? And I feel like it has to get out? Alonzo Trier.
He got waived by them, bro.
Oh my God.
Alonzo
They're so retarded.
He got waived by them.
Bro, he's amazing, though.
You know what they
He's
did?
literally
You know what the
amazing.
Knicks did? And okay, this is gonna be a little mini Knicks rant, bro. They waived Alonzo Trier and they signed Theo Pinson. They're like, we see the most potential in Theo Pinson than
Bro,
we do in Alonzo Trier. Bro, Trier is a walking bucket. Like I was
literally on
was
anyone.
watching the Knicks Nets games, the old one, like the one that Kyrie hit that buzzer.
Oh, he destroyed us.
Trier was balling. Like, dude, what? This kid.
Bro, I was watching him versus the Rockets, and then at the end of the game, they put PJ Tucker on him because he had like 40 points or 30 points. And then on the final play to win, to like get the go-ahead bucket, he dropped PJ Tucker. Like he shaked him so bad. And then when he drove in, PJ Tucker just hit the floor like smack. And then he had an easy layup. Like, bro, that man is nice.
Yeah, Trier. Look, Trier's the exact reason.
Alonzo Trier, we want to interview you if you were watching our podcast.
For real, Alonzo Trier.
Appreciate you.
We would like to pitch you an idea to join Brooklyn Nets because why not? We need more scorers. We actually don't, but just in case, if he wants to join, he can come through. But yeah, no, I think the Knicks, they're losers only because they offered Gordon Hayward the same amount that Charlotte did, and Gordon didn't even want to like listen to them. Like, imagine wanting to overpay for Gordon Hayward and him not even wanting to like visit you guys. Knicks are losers because they didn't do anything in free agency, and they will always be losers in a Nets fan's eyes. And they drafted Obi Toppin to play alongside Julius Randle.
And the RJ Barrett, who can't shoot either.
Tunnel vision. That team sucks. They are.
Anyways, you know who I also want to talk about? The Celtics. I feel like they lost because they didn't get anything for Gordon Hayward, and they could have gotten Miles Turner in a deal.
The fact that they didn't
sign and trade.
The fact that they didn't get anything for Gordon Hayward is a huge L. They just let him
Yeah,
go.
like, bro,
That was
your one chip. Even if they could have, like, because now they're over the cap and they can't even sign anyone. Like, they could have gotten even more over the cap, but still gotten something in addition.
The thing
to
about
replace Hayward.
and a sign and trade, it's really tricky because his sign and trade, he had to opt in order for them to trade him. Or if he wanted,
Bro, but of course he was gonna go to Indiana.
but if he wanted to do a sign and trade, he had to say that he wanted to go to Indy. However, he didn't want to go to Indiana.
He did.
No,
They just didn't offer him the money, bro.
no, they didn't.
Because they're not dumb. No one's gonna offer him.
Didn't want to go because all the like they have players like him over there. T.J. Warren, Victor Oladipo, Brogdon, like players like he wasn't gonna fit that team anyway, so it wouldn't have been a good trade. And then Boston, though, they did get Jeff Teague and Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson is the best screener, one of the best screeners in the NBA. So I think that's
He's great.
good for them.
I think his defense is underrated too,
and
his offensive rebound.
though, like, and they re-signed Daniel Theis. I love that they got Daniel Theis back, but
Oh yeah, they had to.
Celtics
But you know what?
losing
The
out.
Celtics got the Kardashian curse now, so it's over for them. It's over.
Right.
It's over. I'm sorry for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, even though I'm a Nets fan, but I love those guys. Like, this is ballers. And Marcus
Should have been
Smart, but
Brooklyn Nets actually, if we think about it. But no,
I
yeah.
know. Don't even remind me. But anyways.
But yeah, no, they Celtics. I'd give them like a grade. It'd probably be like a C plus. Like they didn't really do much. Like it's the fact that they lost Gordon Hayward for nothing. Like that sucks. But
Yeah, they're not gonna win anything.
there are.
What do you think about the Sixers?
Oh, they won. They won hands down. They won. What? They got Danny Green, and they got Seth Curry. They're winners. But we'll talk about them tomorrow. I wanna end it off here because we did talk a lot about a few different teams, a few snippets. But from what we heard today, I think we could all agree that maybe the biggest loser is the Detroit Pistons. Yeah.
The Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks. Yeah, but the Knicks are always gonna lose. Like they're
That's
always.
like the default.
Yeah.
Like Knicks are always going to be the losers.
Yeah.
Talking about like
Other than that, though, I think it's the Pistons who mainly lost. Like I think we all can agree with that. And Kev making bold statements saying that the current the last NBA championships, the Lakers are losers. I don't think so, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And Isandro saying the Rockets and me saying the Clippers. Basically, a lot of West teams, if we think about it. But
Yeah, East irrelevant.
we'll see what happens with the rest of the NBA. There's still a lot more moves to come. At least that's what we're expecting. And tomorrow we'll talk about some winners. As you guys already know, I believe Lakers. But then I do know that we have a lot to talk about with the Hawks. See, I just want to let our subscribers know that the Hawks, we got something in store for y'all tomorrow. But we do
Excited.
appreciate you guys for coming. Kev, Isandro, always nice seeing you guys. It was a pleasure. Please like, subscribe, and hit that like button. Tell your friends about the Dunces podcast. Isandro, Kev, peace out, guys.
Peace out.